So Jack decided to ask his Snapchat followers for some audio-related questions.
And we got lots of audio-related questions to answer for you guys today.
Yes, we did.
All right, so first question. Why did you start loving speakers and what got you interested in them?
So for me, this is kind of interesting because before I was into speakers, I was actually into, just regular electronic stuff, as, that is. And I forget what it was exactly. It must have been I was at some kind of invention camp or something. I don't actually remember. But I discovered that that there was this thing called a speaker. First, the first thing I ever knew of, a speaker was really the little cheap, 5-watt clock radio or 0.5 watt clock radio speakers that you see. And I had taken, and what I had actually done, I remember this very distinctly. I took two of those that I had and stuck them in like a box, and like I emptied out like a box of rice or something, and I stuck those in the box. And I just chopped up like a 3.5 millimeter cord, and I actually plugged it into my Nintendo DS, believe it or not. And I was like, holy crap, this actually works. And at that point I was literally fascinated. So, yeah, that's my side of it.
That's interesting. Pretty much Logitech X530 was like my first real stereo system. Not that that's really a real system, but basically was listening to music one day up loud, felt the air coming out of the port because they have ridiculous amounts of port noise on my foot, and then I was interested in like why it was doing that, so I pulled the grill off to see the speaker moving, and then pretty much from there, system got bigger and bigger and bigger until now. I have 4 18s in a bedroom, which is just ridiculous.
It's kind of your claim to fame, really.
Yes.
All right. Next question.
Carson says, why are you guys so similar? Probably because we talk all day, every day.
We talk all the time, so that's probably why. I mean, literally. Well, I mean, we talk, he wakes up, his morning is my afternoon, so, we talk whenever we're awake at the same time, basically. But yeah.
Because you're 14 hours behind, I think, or 16 or something, so like my 8 p.m. at night's your 8 p.m. at night's like...
Your, what is it?
12, I think. 12 p.m., yeah.
12 p.m. for you is my 8 p.m.?
I don't know. Normally 4 p.m. is when you go to sleep, which is midnight.
Okay,
that's
so...
weird.
Right. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah. It's like a 13-hour difference. Time zones suck.
Yeah, time zones, they do. It makes it a bit difficult sometimes, but...
Yeah.
What setup am I planning to install in my Subaru? Will I do it myself? And if yes, will there be a video on it? I'm probably just going to keep it pretty simple with maybe like a 10 or a 12 or something like that, and like a T-line. Just keep it pretty chill, because like sticking those 4 18s in there the other day, the amount of like flex and shit noises you get from doing that, and they were only on like 50 watts, it's just ridiculous. So I'll keep it small.
Yeah.
Probably just like I might try and get like a Dayton HO or a Ultimax or something, like 8 or 10.
Yeah, get some really clean,
And like where the factory sub is, stick like an amp in there, in that part of the car, and hopefully it should be sweet. So.
And obviously, the guy didn't ask me, but I might as well pitch in as well. Personally, I'm most likely going to be driving a 2004 Honda Odyssey. So in that case, I'm probably going to do the same thing Jack's going to do, and just, keep it, relatively chill, and just put, an 8 or a 10 in there, and like a T-line.
It gets too expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It gets really expensive. But yeah, I'm probably going to do the same thing. And then obviously,
when your system's worth more than the car, it's just ridiculous.
And obviously, I'm going to upgrade the stocks, speakers as well, because, my Odyssey stock system is pretty crappy. It's my mom's still, but you get the point. It will be once I get my license, hopefully. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, it sounds alright, but yeah. Alright, next question.
Favorite brand of speakers?
Oh boy. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. Do you have a favorite, maybe?
Probably Dayton. I love Dayton. Ever since I've built those T lines.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, if I'd have to like go with a favorite, like, you know, vintage speaker brand or just an overall brand, I would say JBL, just because they're like so freaking good.
Oh yeah, true.
But
true.
You know, both in the home audio realm and the pro audio realm as well. As far as drivers, easily Dayton Audio. Like, easily. Yeah. They're really great. Maybe VIFA as well.
The range Parts Express has is just, you could do anything.
Oh yeah, they have a really great range of stuff for, you know, any kind of project.
Would I ever stick the Dual 18s in the car permanently? Yeah, nah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, those are not suited well for that.
How do we get started with audio equipment? Similar to the last one. My brother had, well, the Sony 6.5s I just blew out the other day. He had those and pretty much just donated them to me when I was getting into audio. So that's pretty much how my system started. Then I added a sub to it and then got a new amp, and it kept progressing from there.
Right. In my situation, I've had like tons of different systems over the years, but
yeah, same.
My first, real sort of system was, I think, that's tough. Honestly, I don't even remember I've had so many, but I mean, like if you go back on my channel, my very first video, you might have been able to see in the background. That was one of my first setups. I think I had, you couldn't really see it, but I had two really not too good Avio speakers. I actually, those are the ones I blew out in my latest blowout video, because they suck. But I had those hooked up to some JVC receiver, and that was really the start of my audio equipment. And then from there, it kind of grew a little bit. Because
everyone starts with something pretty shitty, so
yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Exactly. Different ways to connect a dual voice coil sub.
You could do series. You could do parallel. I mean,
so basically just connect the positive of one coil to the negative of the other, and then just use the remaining terminals as normal. That's series. Right. So that'll pretty much double the impedance.
Mm-hmm. So let's say you have a dual 4-ohm subwoofer and you wire it in series. Then that would be taking the positive of one coil and putting it into the negative of the other coil, and then using the leftover positive and negative as your input. And if you do it in series, that adds the impedance together, so you get an 8-ohm load on whatever amp you could do. But I mean, that's as far as how you can wire it. And then parallel is just taking that and wiring it in parallel. I mean,
so the positives together and the negatives together, and that pretty much halves it. So a dual 4-ohm will become a 2-ohm.
Right, because it splits the impedance in half. And that's as far as like if you were to use a single amplifier or a single channel with a dual voice coil subwoofer. What you can also do is use a 2-channel amplifier and put each channel on one coil of the subwoofer.
But make sure both channels are getting the same signal, because if you get like left and right, it'll start messing around a bit.
If let's say you have a song that has a weird phase thing where it sounds like it's kind of spatial, that could cause issues with because I've actually tried this before with my old Samsung subwoofer. If you reverse the polarity of one of the coils going into it, you actually won't hear any sound out of the subwoofer at all.
I remember asking you to do that. I was curious about that for so long.
Yeah, Jack asked me to do that at one point. But that's basically what will happen. But yeah, that's basically how you can set up a dual voice coil sub.
The best budget subs for £1,000 to £2,000, which is like $3,000 or $4,000. That's not really that budget.
Yeah, you can get a lot for that. honestly.
It depends like what you want to.
That's true.
Like if you want sound quality, you could probably go with like focal and buy like one woofer with that.
Yeah, and it would be
Or
like
you could go
pristine.
Yeah, or you could go like Sundown SV5 or something. Is that the model? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And get something ridiculous. Yeah, it's all up to what you want. I'd probably just stick as many Ultimaxes as you could.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be your best bet for performance. Amps, probably. What would you recommend for amps to run them?
Ooh.
Well, I guess it depends if it's a car.
Yeah, it depends if it's a car or not.
See, I'm not that experienced with car audio, so I can't really be
neither am I. If you're doing a home theater setup, I would say one of those, I forget what they are. There's one of those like Dayton monoblock amps, I guess. Those are pretty good.
The 1000-watt ones.
Yeah, those are really good. If you can obviously get it, but listening setup, I mean, that really depends. Maybe the same thing. Or if you're going for like more of a pro audio sort of situation, I mean, obviously Jack can speak for the Certain Vegas stuff pretty well, so
yeah,
that stuff's pretty good. I mean, as far as power goes.
I definitely got noisy fans, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, next question.
How do I keep the carpet so clean I vacuum it every day? Will I ever get an SVS sub? Probably not, because they are way too expensive. How about you?
I mean, probably not. I would get it if I could afford it, honestly.
Yeah, like they're great subs, but they're just extremely expensive.
Yeah, and assuming I get into the home theater installation business in the future, I may actually, end up installing some of those, depending on,
That would be good.
That would be pretty cool, because, that's one of the things I want to maybe try and do as a profession. So, yeah, that's basically it for that one.
Have we ever got in, like, serious trouble with anything because of sound? So, like...
Personally...
Noise complaints or...
Right. So, personally, not really. Actually, no, I don't think I have. Because my neighbors are pretty far apart, and... yeah, and our house, obviously usually most of the audio equipment that I use is in my basement, so, and my basement's obviously surrounded by concrete or whatever it is, so
yeah,
that's pretty well isolated. I mean, what about you?
Oh, what was the question again?
God damn it. It was noise complaints.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Yeah, he's
nothing major though, like no police called or anything, just like, can you just turn it down a bit or whatever?
Right.
Probably
yeah.
had like 3 or 4.
I mean, obviously he's in a much different, neighborhood, so.
Which is weird though, because it wasn't actually a close neighbor.
Oh,
it was
really?
Quite a far away one. Yeah.
Interesting.
Most of my neighbors don't really care because they're pretty fine with it. They're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they could hear my neighbors don't care at all.
Best place to buy subs. Again, it depends on your location.
Yeah.
Parts Express.
I mean, yeah, if you're in the US, Parts Express, definitely. I mean, it really depends if you're near a local shop. I mean, assuming you live in Ohio, and you live there, then absolutely Parts Express, because you can just drive to the Parts Express store.
Oh, that'd be dreams.
That would literally be. I would love to live there. But yeah,
just play with all the Ultimaxes.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, I might have to make a road trip down there at some point. But yeah.
Might have to come to America one day.
Oh yeah.
What do you do to make money and buy audio equipment?
Personally, I have a few jobs actually. I work at a religious school on Sundays for, just as like a tech person. And then I also do some like sort of freelance, I guess, video work, just, on the side. Just kind of, not really doing anything. I'm also in the process of becoming a paid student technician at my school, which is going to be pretty cool because that means you can operate the sound system. And well, I can anyways, but I have been doing it. I just haven't gotten paid for it yet. But yeah. What about you?
This guy asked 3 questions and they're all for you. I have pretty much 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to get the money for it. Pretty quick too.
Oh yeah, and in YouTube, of course. I mean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for you, obviously, your channel is much bigger, so you make a lot more than I do. But we still make money regardless.
Yeah. What is your favorite pair of headphones? I'm pretty sure I know that one.
Well, mine, Philips SHP 9500. Easy. I literally love these things.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I have a favorite as much. I'm not particularly a headphone guy, so I'm mainly speakers. As far as headphones, I just use a set of pretty basic wireless Sennheisers just for daily use because I love to be able to walk around the house and listen to music just like you would with speakers. So
right. Yeah, I mean, if there was one thing I could change about this, actually, if there's one thing I could add to these Philips headphones, it would be a Bluetooth dongle. That way I can just roam free and it will be awesome. But yeah.
And how old are you?
I am 16.
Yeah, same.
Though I'm...
Same now. Everyone got confused when I bought a car. Everyone's like, aren't you 15? Nah, I turned 16.
Yeah.
Just the other day.
But yeah, he's actually a year ahead of me. He just turned 16. I'm about to in a few months. So, yeah.
What do we think about car subs with home theater? That's perfectly fine to me.
It's fine as long as you do it right. It's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you get it, working, pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
If there was no such thing as speakers and music, what would you do with your YouTube channels?
Probably PC related stuff, honestly.
Yeah, probably car related.
Yeah, PC or car related stuff, definitely. Maybe more PC related stuff since I'm a bit more into that. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
And actually, honestly, I might start doing PC stuff. Obviously, with the new channel, rename and everything, I'm going to start, diversifying my content a little bit. So, expect to see some pretty, new stuff in the future.
Yeah, that's the good thing about having a name that's sort of versatile. You can upload whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
How did I get a 350 watt amp to power 18-inch subs? Anything can power anything, it's just how well it does it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
You could hook a 1 watt amp up to my 4 18s if you wanted to.
I mean,
it's not going to be great.
Yeah, a lot of it is efficiency. Like, the more,
and Pro Audio is particularly efficient.
Really efficient, so you'll, obviously that'll be pretty, I don't know.
I think with what my subs are rated, I can hit like 100 dB off 1 watt, which is...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you look at the specifications for like a speaker or a woofer, more often than not, it'll have a sensitivity rating and it'll give a decibel rating at 1 watt at 1 meter, which means given 1 watt of power to that subwoofer, that's how many decibels it can put out at 1 meter distance. So yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Did I build the 18s? Yes, I did. The best sounding speakers you have listened to?
Ooh. What do you think?
I know mine. I've heard a pair of Bowers & Wilkins 801s in a hi-fi store in Melbourne.
Probably my JBL D130s, honestly. Oh, they are insane. They're not...
Soundstage.
Oh, yeah. They have a ridiculous soundstage. Like, they also have insane imaging as well. Like, the way I have them set up, if you sit like in the couch and you look at the TV, it sounds like there's audio coming from the TV. So yeah.
Yeah. What is the main difference between car audio, home audio, and pro audio subs?
Car audio is really designed mostly, not all of it is, but most of it is SPL based, sort of SPL oriented. You know, high excursion, high SPL, obviously.
High SPL at lower frequencies.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're going for, you know, a regular SQ install, but mainly that's where the focus is. Home audio subs, really, it's just about, you know, a kind of a compromise. You know, it's just a compromise of sounding good and, you know, being, you know, decently loud. Pro audio is basically, you know, as much SPL as possible, not in the lowest frequencies, I guess.
Yeah, not the lowest, but they're actually very, very tight and accurate.
Yeah, like most you know, pro audio subwoofers have, you know, obviously a large cone surface area, but they don't have you know massive, you know, cone travel or anything. So
yeah, and it's pretty much for precision.
They're mainly, you know, better at, you know, slightly higher, like from like 30 hertz and up, you know, at the lowest. Because
exactly.
You're not, I mean, it's not like in a pro audio situation you're listening to 20 hertz, you know, explosions in a movie or something. You're, you know, obviously. Yeah.
It's meant for, kick drums and things like that.
Yep.
All right, what brands are our speakers and our amps, and what is our system's power?
All right, so for me, I have 3 different systems, 3 different main systems. Well, actually, technically 4. So first system I have is my home theater, like the big home theater system, which is the one with a 100-inch projector screen and the projector and everything. That has a Denon AVR 1613 receiver, which is 100 watts per channel into 5 channels. It's 5.1, and that pushes a pair of Wharfdale Valdez 500 speakers for the front, left, and right. Those are, what are they? Triple 8-inch towers, and they're really good. Expect a video on those soon, by the way. Center channel, that is what I've actually done for that is I've disassembled a Boston Acoustics A70 and basically mounted it on a piece of wood on the wall, so that it can hide behind the projector screen. I'll throw up a few pictures of that. And then my rear channels are, okay, whatever. And then my rear channels are sort of Frankenstein speakers. They're made up of realistic Minimus 5s. They're made up of realistic Minimus 5s and some Parts Express tweeter, I forget which one it was, and some unbranded Parts Express tweeter, and Jensen woofers. For subwoofers for that setup, I have 2 Klipsch SW350s. They are 400 watts a piece, I think. I think they're 350 RMS actually. So I mean that will be 700 watts for the subs, 500 watts for the speakers. So that's like 1200 watts for that setup, I guess you could say. It's kind of hard to give a wattage rating, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, wattage isn't everything, obviously. Then we have the setup, which is on just the TV area, which is also a 5.1 setup. For the receiver for that setup, I have a Harman Kardon AVR 1700. That's a 5.1 receiver as well. I'm unaware of I'm not sure how many watts it is exactly per channel, but I think it's 100. I think it's the same as the Denon, but I'm not too sure. For front, left, and rights for that setup, we have a pair of Boston Acoustics A100s. Those are 10-inch, single 10-inch, 2-ways with a dome tweeter. And center channel is an Infinity Primus of some sort. I don't know exactly what the model is, but it's a dual 5 1/4. And then the rears are Sony SS MB105s, which are 5 1/4 2-ways. Subwoofer for that setup is the what was it? The subwoofer is a dual 10-inch sealed Cambridge Soundworks sub. I think it's the something 1000. I don't remember. I'll put it in the description, I think. Or actually, no, I'll flash it on the screen. Yeah, that's basically it for that setup, though. The third setup is I guess what I'm calling the vintage setup. For that setup, we have a Pioneer SX1050 which is, I believe, 150 watts per channel, which is, that's vintage watts, so that's a lot. And that thing is powerful, trust me. And then for speakers for that setup, I have the JBL D130s, as previously mentioned, which are 15-inch speakers. They're technically not woofers. They are woofers, but they play pretty high, like into the thousands. And then for the highs and the mids, I have a pair of Boston Acoustics A70s over there, another pair. And yeah, and then I guess the fourth setup, which is my computer setup, that would just be, that's pretty simple. I have the Cambridge Soundworks new Ensemble 2 speakers, which is a two-way satellite speaker system with a dual 6.5-inch bandpass subwoofer. And that's currently hooked up to a Kinter MA170. I know, it's a crappy amp, but it pushes them, surprisingly enough. That setup's only temporary, though. Alright,
so I pretty much have 3 systems that are mine that I'll go over. So there's obviously the music room system at the moment, which is the Beamers, I forget the model number of those, and the 418s. And they're pretty much just being powered by a CV900 run at 8 ohms a channel, which I'm considering changing to 4 ohms bridged because it'll get a lot more power out of it. That's what the Beamers are running on, and then a CV2800 per Joule 18, which is, well, if you do the math, I don't know, it's somewhere roughly around 5-6 K RMS, which is ridiculous. Then for the bedroom system, which is sort of my listening sort of setup, I have those custom Dayton Audio T-Line speakers I built, and they sound ridiculous, and they're on a Kenwood RK701 amp, which has stupidly low distortion. It's like the THD on that is like 0.007 or something. It does like 14 watts RMS from like 5 hertz to 50 kilohertz. Not powerful, not loud, but absolutely ample for your day-to-day listening sort of thing. And then in there for subs, I have 212s. They're an Aku Sound, some sort of like, I think it's like 8.6 XD series. Every speaker in that series has the same model name, but they're different speakers. It's a 12-inch, it's like 300 watts RMS a piece. I rarely use them because the Daytons have such good bass that the 5-inch Daytons actually play lower than those 12s. They are ported, they're rear ported though, so I actually ended up sealing the box because we all know how rear ported goes right against a wall. And that's pretty much it for that system. And then at my computer, I have a set of Deli Zensa 1s and a Velodyne CHT10 being powered off a Clarion. Is it Clarion? No, Canton amplifier, which is giving it like 100 watts, so nowhere near enough power, but it's perfectly fine for a computer system. And the main sort of amplifier for that system is a SMSL SA36A Pro, which is just a little T-amp, but running the high-level inputs on the sub-amp and just straight into the delis, it does perfect here. So that's pretty much the 3 systems I have down here, and I have that Marley Get Together Bluetooth speaker as my bathroom system, which is holding up a lot better than the Logitech system I had in there previously did. It's been in there for more than a month, and the surrounds haven't rotted, so that's good. So that's pretty much the systems I run down at my end of the house.
Alright, I guess we can move on to the next question.
That's such a long question, isn't it?
I know.
What sort of music do you normally listen to?
Me mainly, I don't know, I listen to a lot of EDM, but like, not like, I don't know, I'm kind of transitioning a little bit. Like, I'm not listening to as much. I'm starting to listen to a bit more classic rock sort of stuff, regular rock, folk rock kind of stuff. Because, it's good. But yeah, as far as like EDM that I listen to, it's mainly future bass, any kind of house, that kind of stuff.
And for me, pretty much anything. It depends on the day, depends on my mood. It can be anything from future bass to heavy metal to jazz to rap to anything. It's all down to the how I'm feeling at the time and what I want to listen to. So
yeah, I would honestly say the same for me. Obviously, like the two genres I mentioned are really the ones I listen to the most, but I listen to basically everything.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, except like classical. But yeah.
Do you want to promote your Spotify or?
Oh, true. So yeah, I have a Spotify account. If anybody wants to go check that out, I'll leave the link in the description. I have a few playlists up there, with just stuff. I have a speaker test playlist. I have an EDM playlist, which is huge, by the way.
It is. I can vouch for that.
Yeah. And yeah, go check it out since it's a thing.
Yeah, and same with me. Any of my latest videos or in my channel art, you can see the links up there for my main Spotify playlist. And then if you actually check out my account, there's many more playlists. And if you want to listen to the sort of music we listen to, you can go and check it out on Spotify.
Yep, both of our links to our Spotify accounts will be in the description.
Alright, so thank you guys for sending in the questions that we answered, hopefully to your satisfaction. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, show some support to Daniel's video, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yep, see ya. Don't forget to subscribe to Jack and myself. Bye.